just don't feel like trying. But all my real niggas around me keep telling me, Kels, fuck that, you gotta keep climbing. I admit it, I did. Yeah. I admit I'm a gift and a curse. I admit that I don't go to church. I admit it, I admit it. I admit it, I did it. I admit it, I did. I admit it, I did it. I admit I got so many flaws. Told so many lies to these bras. Blew so much money, pop so many bottles. Yeah, I fuck a bitch just because. Nigga, I had a hell of a day, but I admit I was in my own way. I admit I had my mama crying over me. What else can a nigga say? I admit I can't spell for shit. I admit that all I hear is hits. I admit I couldn't read the teleprompter when the Grammys asked me to present. I admit I love God, but wait, it's so much temptation, but wait. Admit to the drinking and smoking too much, but it helped me get through the day. Won't say no names, I'm not a snitch, but one night at the Ritz, I did some shit I shouldn't have did. Went and fucked my niggas bitch. I admit that I did. I fucked my girlfriend's best friend. Yeah, I topped that in back of my Benz. I admit I'm sorry for my sins. I admit it, I admit it. I admit it, I did.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
I admit it, I did it. Yeah. I admit I trust people too much. I admit I can't say such and such, but my lawyers told me that even though it's bullshit, Kelly, protect your career. All these people in my ear. I admit I've been tempted by drugs. I admit that I just need a hug. I admit the devil talk to me sometimes, but the devil's not who I trust. I've been fucked by so many damn managers. Why they push me out front of these cameras? All this music got engaged them, and now they play me like a fucking amateur. I got a life, yeah. I got a right, yeah. Cancel my shows, that shit ain't right. How they gon' say I don't respect these women when all I've done is represent? Take my career and turn it upside down, cause you met I've got some girlfriends. Hell with this record deal, it ain't worth this shit for real. Ain't seen my kids in years, they try and lock me up like Bill. How much can a nigga take? How much can a nigga pray? Just wanna do my music, stop stressing me. Please just let me age gracefully. I admit it, I admit it. I admit it, I did it. I admit it, I did. I admit it, I did. I admit it, I did it. They took my gift and they blind me. Where in the fuck is my money? Now here come this big ass conspiracy. I still got my fans, that's a blessing. Listen to heaven, just stay on my grind, and that's 24/7. And I know my mama Joanne is smiling down on me. I put that on reverend. Been a grown man since age 11. Man on the guap since 7. Rest in peace to my homie Kevin. I admit it, I admit it. I admit it, I did it. I admit it, I did. I admit it, I did it. I admit I'm a freak. Used to go to strip clubs every week. But who these niggas tryna say I am? Man, I'm not, and I put that on chief. I admit I fuck with all the ladies. That's both older and young ladies. But tell me how they call it pedophile because of that shit, that's crazy. You may have your opinions, entitled to your opinions. But really, am I supposed to go to jail or lose my career because your opinion? Yeah, go ahead and storm me. Point your finger at me. Turn the world against me. But only God can mute me. I admit that I fired some people. I admit that I hired new people. I admit that those people I fired on my mama was crooked ass people. I admit that I don't own my music. I admit that I will own my music. Want it back, but they don't wanna do it. What the fuck, nigga, I wrote that music. I did that bump and grind, I did that 12 play, I did that fed up, I changed the damn game. So I deserve me a fair play. So put some respect on my damn name. Now Wendy Williams mad with me, but I ain't never offer her no drink. But I admit that she asked me, can I get a little Hennessy? Then we both turned off our phones. We drink, I smoke, we talk. And I admit that I told it all, from my good points to my faults. She said, what about Ali? I said, love. She said, what about the tape? I said, hush. I said, my lawyer said, don't say none. But I can tell you I've been set up. I admitted how ever since the first day, that without knowing I signed my publishing away. I admitted I was young and caught up, so blind, yeah. Said I had dyslexia, couldn't read all them contracts, yeah. And now the truth in this message is I'm a broke-ass legend. The only reason I stay on tour is cause I gotta pay my rent. I never thought that it would come to this, to being the most disrespected artist. So I had to write a song about it, cause they always take my words and twist it. Believe me, it's hard to admit all this, but I'm in my feelings about this shit. But I had to set the fucking record straight. So I admit it, I admit it. I admit it, I did it. I admit it, I did. I admit it, I did it. I admit I love Steve Harvey, John Legend and Tom Joyner. They're doing good in their lives right now. Why would they wanna tear down another brother? Women show black men some love, cause black men, we go through enough. How can we get up off the ground when we steady tearing each other down? I admit that the devil is busy, and some people beside me ain't with me. I admit that I'm gonna do this music up until the Lord come get me. Now, I admit a family member touched me. Touch me, touch me, touch me. From a child to the age 14. While I laid asleep, took my virginity. So scared to say something, so I just put the blame on me. Now here I am and I'm trying my best to be honest, cause there's forces out there trying to keep me from being an artist. I admit I'm at rock bottom, and this shit has rocked my mind. I'm calling on my hood, come walk by my side. They don't want me to shine. Women's group, my God. Now don't get it twisted, I do support them, but why they wanna bring down the art? Damn, this is breaking my heart. Cause from fathers, mothers, sons and daughters, I'm a part of the music culture. Spotify took me off their playlist. I admit that I've been underrated. I'm not convicted, not arrested, but drag my name in the dirt. All this work to be successful, and you abandon me cause of what you heard. I admit I am not perfect, I never said I was perfect. Say I'm abusing these women, what the fuck, that's some absurd shit. They brainwashed, really? Kidnapped, really? Can't eat, really? Real talk, that shit sounds silly. And if you really, really wanna know, her father dropped her off in my show and told his boy to put her on the stage. I admit that she was overage. I admit that I was feeling her, and I admit that she was feeling me. I admit that that's just some shit that come with being a celebrity. I ain't chasing these ladies, no. These ladies are chasing me, yeah. And I'm only saying all this shit cause how they tryna play me, yeah. I admit that this is no disrespect to the parents, but this is my advice to you cause I'm also a parent. Don't push your daughter in my face and tell me that it's okay, cause your agenda is to get paid and get mad when it don't go your way. I know y'all look at me like I don't go through things, but I'm human. I know it's hard sometimes, but try to keep in mind that I'm human. Fuck all the fortune and fame, forget the name, I'm a human.
Yo. Kelly, with you? What?
ACT, did you see this?
Look, if it ain't official Dana J, Levi for Kelly, or Prima Donna News, I don't even want to see it. Just take the ball. Look. You got some weed? Dang. I gotta get some. Alright, hurry up. Diesel and them here, everybody here, we waiting on you. Alright.
What you gon' do now? Hope you're ready, cause I'm really about to put it down. Girl, you know that I will never disrespect you. We have tomorrow, but tonight I wanna spank you. That ass down, gotta make it last down. Start off slow, then I'ma beat it up. Hate on me, but no. Try to say stop when the beat say go. There you go again, that voice is watch you make your girlfriend go. Come on, come on, come on. You've been waiting patiently, wondering when and where I be. After causing ruckus in the industry, making this so she can't sleep.
Slave. Go to the dictionary, look it up, let me know I'll be here. You've been trying to destroy me for 25 whole years. Writing the same stories over and over and over again. Off my name, you done went and made yourself a career. Well, guess what? I pray for you and your family and all my other enemies. I'm not gonna let y'all steal my joy. I'm just gonna keep on doing me. Now I don't know what else to say except I'm so falsely accused. Tell me, how can you judge when you never walked in my shoes? So easy to mess up someone else's life through social media, the devil in disguise. I admit I miss my brothers, but I admit they wasn't acting like brothers. Yeah, we've had our differences, but you don't turn on your brother for nothing, for no one, nada. Mama, Joanne is watching. She must be turning over in her grave, yeah. I admit I had to borrow a couple of M's from the label. All these hits out, but I couldn't put food on the table. I was told I had to sell my cars. I was told I couldn't get a loan. Said I owed 20 million to the IRS and they was coming to get my home. I admit I was feeling stupid staying in the Homewood Suites. Disrespect. Sipping Hennessy, trying to figure out what happened to me. There was so much going through my head, cause I knew that something wasn't right. I just couldn't put my finger on it, but my spirit had better eyes. It told me what it saw, and it scared the shit out of me. It said get rid of them all, it's nothing but vultures around me. I admit that I love my fans for all the push and support they've shown. I admit if it wasn't for them, I would have never stayed strong. Now I'm not tripping on all of these rumors, that don't bother me. And I'm not paying attention to these haters, that don't bother me. But what blows me is when certain people turn phony.
2, 3.
They say, Rob, I got your back. Rob, you the man. But they really doubting me. Bitch, you know who you are. Bitch, I bought you a car. Bitch, you stayed at my crib. I loved you with all my heart. Now, I don't like to brag when it comes to me, but I've given back to the community, from the non-profits to the charities. But of course you never hear that about me. To them niggas that drink my liquor and smoke my stogies. How come you ain't on Facebook taking up for me when you're around me most of the day? And you know that I'm a good brother. Always got your hands out, it ain't no doubt that y'all niggas ain't nothing but blood suckers. Plus, y'all ain't bringing nothing to the table. Yeah, nigga, and you know it's real talk. Taking pictures with me for your Instagram, but when I need you, you're quick to get lost. Robert J and Joanne, my kids. What you're hearing out here about that? Guys, I'm sorry for this. I'm so sorry, I can't imagine what y'all must be going through. Every day it's something about me, my God, it must be killing you. I promise there'll be better days. Just keep walking straight. I know you must be worried, but just know that I'm okay. For me, things has gotten rough. Right now I can't say too much, but for y'all I will stay tough. Daddy just needs y'all to trust and believe in me. I admit that I've told the truth, and I'm still not free. Still won't hate me, they still won't stone me, still won't chain me. Think they won't kill me. I admit it, I admit it. I admit it, I did it. I admit it, I did. I admit it, I did.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
No disrespect to Chi-Town, my home, but we've gotta learn how to support our own. I admit that my heart cries for my city, 'cause we're losing young lives in the city. Instead of judging me, y'all should be using me to help these kids, raise them out of depression and poverty. Now I'm not saying I'm no savior, but I could be an inspiration. This is an invitation. Man, I admit I go through so much day to day. Got 23 lawyers, 3 or 4 managers. What am I doing? Show me the way. The only thing I have left is my voice, and now I have to use it for my protection, because they left me no choice. See, my work has nothing to do with my private life, so stay the fuck out of my business and tend to your own damn life. So go ahead, say what you wanna say about who I wanna date, but you won't say that shit to my face, 'cause you know it ain't shit to say. Next nigga bring me some dumb shit, it's gonna be a misunderstanding, 'cause niggas that listen to dumb shit are niggas that be on that dumb shit. They need a life 'cause they ain't got no life, so they always conjuring up dumb shit. Blocking my path, they don't know the half and salt, they making assumptions. Since when do assumptions cost a man his whole career? Found guilty when you're innocent is the only test I fear. There is one thing that's for sure, and I wanna make this shit clear. I done left my voice and represented my country for 31 fucking years. Damn it, I admit, I admit, I admit, I admit, I admit, I admit, I admit.
Woo! Explosive. But look, we got some paperwork we got to talk about. Here we go. Explosive. Tell Jim Daddy I guess whatever your name is. Oh, man. got it. Let's go with it. Let's go. Let's see. Nope. All right. So that way y'all can see it. There we go. That way y'all can see it. Let's go. United States of America plaintiff versus Robert Sylvester Kelly, also known as R. Kelly, Daryl McDavid, and Milton June Brown, also known as June Brown. Defendant Kelly's proposed jury instructions. Now comes the defendant, Robert S. Kelly, by and through his counsel, Jennifer Bongine, and requests that the jury be instructed in accordance with the proposed instructions. 1. Defendant Kelly lodges his objections and proposed modifications to the government's proposed jury instructions and a red line copy of the document attached as Exhibit A. 2. Additionally, Defendant Kelly joins Defendant McDavid's request that the jury be instructed consistent with McDavid's proposed instructions attached as Exhibit B. 3. Defendant Kelly further proposes that McDavid instruction 8 witnesses requiring special caution include Jane and Susan. Okay. I, Jennifer Bongine, an attorney licensed to practice law in the state of Illinois, hereby certifies that she filed the attached Rule 29 motion on August the 30th, 2022. By filing the motion via the Northern District of Illinois' electronic filing system, the government and other parties were automatically served via ECF. Okay? That's just the main joint. Let's go. Let's go. United States District Court, Northern District of Illinois. Can y'all hear me well out there? If y'all can hear me, say yeah out there. If y'all can hear me, say yeah. Can y'all hear me out there? I just want to know if you can hear me. United States of America versus Daryl McDavid. Defendant Daryl McDavid's proposed jury instructions comes now. Defendant Daryl McDavid, by and through his undersigned attorneys Bo B. Brindley and Vadim A. Glozman, and hereby request that the following proposed instructions be given in this case. Excuse me. Okay. Check this out. McDavid. Now, what y'all about to understand is why the government didn't want Daryl McDavid to put some text messages from Jack Palladino in the case. Well, they all gonna be here. Let's go. McDavid instruction 1. Conspiracy elements instruction. Count 5 of the indictment charges defendants Robert Kelly and Daryl McDavid with conspiracy to violate 18 U.S.C. 1519. In order for you to find a defendant guilty of this charge, the government must prove each of the 3 following elements beyond a reasonable doubt as to that defendant. 1. The conspiracy was charged and count 5 existed. The conspiracy as charged in count 5 existed. That never existed. 2. The defendant knowingly became a member of the conspiracy with an intent to advance the conspiracy. And 3. One of the conspirators committed an overt act in an effort to advance the goal of the conspiracy sometime after July 11, 2014. An overt act is any act done to carry out the goal of the charged conspiracy. The government is not required to prove all of the overt acts charged in the indictment. The overt act may itself be a lawful act. If you find from your consideration of all the evidence that the government has proved each of these elements beyond a reasonable doubt, then you should find the defendant guilty. If, on the other hand, you find from your consideration of all the evidence that the government has failed to prove any one of these elements beyond a reasonable doubt, then you should find the defendant not guilty. McDavid instruction number 2, object to the object of the conspiracy. The specific conspiracy charged in count 5 is a conspiracy to conceal, cover up, falsify, or make false entry in a record, document, or tangible object containing documents or records in violation of 18 U.S.C. 1519. To prove that a conspiracy existed, the government must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant had an agreement or mutual understanding with at least one other person to violate 18 U.S.C. 1519. McDavid instruction 3, 18 U.S.C. 1519 elements. Title 18, United States Code, Section 1519, make it a crime for anyone to knowingly conceal, cover up, falsify, or make a false entry in a record, document, or tangible object with an intent to impede, obstruct, or influence the investigation of a matter within the jurisdiction of an agency of the federal government. For you to find a defendant guilty of this crime, you must be convinced that the government has proved each of the following beyond a reasonable doubt as to that defendant. First, that the defendant conspired to knowingly alter, destroy, mutilate, conceal, cover up, falsify, or make a false entry in record, document, or tangible object. Second, the defendant attached with the intent to impede, obstruct, or influence an actual or contemplated investigation of a matter within the jurisdiction of any department or agency of the United States. There is no requirement that the matter or investigation have been pending or imminent at the time of the obstruction. However, the government must prove that the conspiracy was entered into a contemplation of any such matter or investigation. 4, tangible object. You are instructed that for the purposes of this statute, a tangible object extends only to objects containing records and documents. It does not extend to all objects in the physical world. You are instructed that a videotape depicting child pornography is not by itself a tangible object within the meaning of this statute. You are instructed that providing a false statement to law enforcement officers does not by itself constitute falsifying or making a false entry into a record or document. Number 5, statute of limitations. The defendants may not be convicted of a conspiracy that terminated more than 5 years before the indictment was returned. The indictment in this case was returned on July 11, 2019. Thus, the defendants may not be convicted of a conspiracy that terminated on or before July 11, 2014. A criminal conspiracy terminates when the charged purpose of the conspiracy is obtained or abandoned. Once the central criminal purpose of a conspiracy has been obtained or abandoned, acts of concealment merely designed to hide the existence of that conspiracy from law enforcement are not acts in furtherance of the conspiracy. In order to prove that a defendant knowingly participated in a conspiracy that continued after July 11, 2014, the government must prove as to that defendant that the central criminal purpose of the conspiracy had not been obtained or abandoned prior to July 11, 2014. That as charged in the indictment, a defendant committed at least one of the following overt acts after July 11, 2014. A, in approximately September 2014, Rkelly caused the wire transfer an amount of $80,000 to be paid to Daryl McDavid through his firm, Winkler and McDavid Ltd. And approximately October of 2014, Kelly caused a RSK Enterprise LC check to be issued to Jane, payable in the amount of $1,150, with the notion personal RK in the memo line. And approximately October 2015, Robert Kelly caused a wire payment to be made from RSK Enterprise LC to Jane, payable in the amount of $1,150 with the notation settlement payment, although the payment was not made pursuant to a settlement with Robert Kelly or. In approximately December 2015, Robert Kelly caused a wire payment in the amount of $100,000 to be made from RSK Enterprises LLC to agents of Daryl McDavid and on McDavid's behalf. How is that possible when Daryl McDavid ran the account? That the overt act you found was committed. That the overt act you found was committed in furtherance of the conspiracy to knowingly alter, destroy, mutilate, conceal, cover up, falsify, or make a false entry in a record, document, or tangible object with the intent to obstruct a contemplated federal investigation. 6. Unanimously and overt acts. The government is not required to prove that the defendant committed every one of the overt acts charged in the indictment. However, the government is required to prove that a co-conspirator made at least one of the overt acts in furtherance of the charged conspiracy. To find that the government has proven this, you must agree unanimously on which particular overt act the defendant made, as well as all of the other elements of the crime charge. For example, if some of you were to find that the government has proved beyond a reasonable doubt that in approximately September 2014, Kelly caused a wire transfer in the amount of $80,000 to be paid to McDavid through his firm, and he did so for the purpose of furthering the charged conspiracy, and the rest of you were to find that the government has proved beyond a reasonable doubt that in approximately October 2014, Kelly caused a RSK Enterprise LLC check to be issued to Jane, payable in the amount of $1,150, and that he did so in furtherance of the charged conspiracy, then there would be no unanimous agreement on which overt act the government has proved. On the other hand, if all of you were to find that the government has proved beyond a reasonable doubt that in approximately September 2014, Kelly caused a wire transfer in an amount of $80,000 to be paid to McDavid, and he did so for the purpose of advancing the charged conspiracy, then there would be a unanimous agreement on which overt act the government proved. 7. Presence, activity, association. A defendant's presence at the scene of a crime and knowledge that a crime is being committed is not sufficient by itself to establish the defendant's guilt. If a defendant performed acts that advanced the crime but had no knowledge that the crime was being committed or was about to be committed, those acts are not sufficient by themselves to establish the defendant's guilt. A defendant's association with persons involved in a crime or criminal scheme is not sufficient by itself to prove his participation in a crime or membership in a criminal scheme. Witness requiring special caution. You have heard testimony from Charles Freeman, Lisa Van Allen, and Keith Morrell, who were promised a benefit in return for their testimony and cooperation with the government. You may give these witnesses testimony whatever weight you believe is appropriate, keeping in mind that you must consider that testimony with caution and great care. 9. Prior inconsistent statements. You have heard evidence that before trial, witnesses made statements that may be inconsistent with their testimony here in court. You may consider an inconsistent statement made before the trial only to help you decide how believable a witness testimony was here in court. If an earlier statement was made under oath, then you can also consider the earlier statement as evidence of the truth or whatever the witness said in the earlier statement. Okay. Which leads us to the last page. Let's go. Government's proposed jury instructions. The United States of America, by its attorney John R. Laws Jr., United States Attorney for the Northern District of Illinois, hereby submits the government's proposed instructions and verdict forms for this case. Because the government based this submission on the anticipated trial evidence, the government may ask this court for permission to supplement or modify these proposed jury instructions as appropriate. Members of the jury, I will now instruct you on the law that you must follow in deciding this case. Each of you has a copy of these instructions to use in the jury room. You must follow all of my instructions about the law. Even if you disagree with them, this includes the instructions I gave you before the trial, any instructions I gave you during the trial, and the instructions I am giving you now. As jurors, you have two duties. Your first duty is to decide the facts from the evidence that you saw and heard here in court. This is your job, not my job or anyone else's job. Your second duty is to take the law as I give it to you, apply it to the facts, and decide if the government has proved the defendant guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You must perform these duties fairly and impartially. Do not let sympathy, prejudice, fear, or public opinion influence you. In addition, do not let any person's race, color, religion, national ancestry, or gender influence you. You must not take anything I said or did during the trial as indicating that I have an opinion about the evidence or about what I think your verdict should be. Government Instruction Number 1, 7th Circuit Committee, 2020. The charges against the defendants are in a document called an indictment. You will have a copy of the indictment during your deliberations. The indictment in this case charges defendant Rkelly with sexual exploitation of a minor, conspiring to obstruct justice, conspiring to receive child pornography, receipt of child pornography, and enticement of minors to engage in unlawful sexual conduct. Daryl McDavid is charged with conspiring to obstruct justice, conspiring to receive child pornography, and receipt of child pornography. Defendant Milton Brown is charged with conspiring to receive child pornography. The defendants have pled not guilty to these charges. The indictment is simply the formal way of telling a defendant what crimes he is accused of committing. It is not evidence that the defendant is guilty. It does not even raise a suspicion of guilt. Government Instruction Number 2. Each defendant is presumed innocent of each and every one of the charges. This presumption continues throughout the case, including during your deliberations. It is not overcome unless, from all the evidence in the case, you are convinced beyond a reasonable doubt that the particular defendant you are considering is guilty as charged. The government has the burden of proving each defendant's guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. This burden of proof stays with the government throughout the case. The defendant is never required to prove his innocence. He is not required to produce any evidence at all. You must make your decision based only on the evidence that you saw and heard here in court. Do not consider anything you may have seen or heard outside of court, including anything from the newspaper, television, radio, the internet, or any other source. The evidence includes only what the witnesses said when they were testifying under oath. The exhibits that I allowed into evidence and the stipulations that the lawyers agreed to. A stipulation is an agreement that certain facts are true or that a witness would have given certain testimony. Nothing else is evidence. The lawyer's statements and arguments are not evidence. If what a lawyer said is different from the evidence as you remember it, the evidence is what counts. The lawyer's questions and objections likewise are not evidence. A lawyer has a duty to object if the lawyer thinks a question is improper. If I sustain objections to questions the lawyers ask, you must not speculate on what the answers might have been. If during the trial I struck testimony or exhibits from the record or told you to disregard something, you must not consider it. Give the evidence whatever weight you believe it deserves. Use your common sense in weighing the evidence and consider the evidence in light of your own everyday experience. People sometimes look at one fact and conclude from it that another fact exists. This is called an inference. You are allowed to make reasonable inferences so long as they are based on the evidence. You may have heard the terms direct evidence and circumstantial evidence. Direct evidence is evidence that directly proves a fact. Circumstantial evidence is evidence that indirectly proves a fact. You are to consider both direct and circumstantial evidence. The law does not say that one is better than the other. It is up to you to decide how much weight to give to any evidence, whether direct or circumstantial. Part of your job as jurors is to decide how believable each witness was and how much weight to give each witness's testimony, including that of a defendant. You may accept all of what a witness say, or part of it, or none of it. Some factors you may consider include the age of a witness, the intelligence of a witness, the witness' ability and opportunity to see, hear, or know the things the witness testified about, the witness's memory, the witness's demeanor, whether the witnesses had any bias, prejudice, or other reason to lie or slant the testimony, the truthfulness and accuracy of the witness testimony in light of other evidence presented, and inconsistent or consistent statements or conduct by the witness. Okay, here's the questions. Do not make any decisions simply by counting the number of witnesses who testified about a certain point. You may find the testimony of one witness or a few witnesses more persuasive than the testimony of a larger number. You need not accept the testimony of the larger number of witnesses. What is important is how truthful and accurate the witnesses are and how much weight you think their testimony deserves. A defendant has an absolute right not to testify or present evidence. You may not consider in any way the fact that a defendant did not testify or present evidence. You should not even discuss it in your deliberations. You may consider evidence that the defendant was convicted of a crime only in deciding the believability of his testimony. You may not consider it for any other purpose. The other convictions are not evidence of whether the defendant is guilty of any crime he is charged with in this case. You have heard a witness who gave testimony regarding. You do not have to accept this witness testimony. You should judge this witness testimony the same way you judge the testimony of any other witness. In deciding how much weight to give to this testimony, you should consider the witness's qualifications, how he reached his conclusion, and the factors I have described for determining the believability of testimony. It is proper for an attorney to interview any witness in preparation for trial. You have heard a recorded conversation or conversations and seen video recordings. This is proper evidence that you should consider together with and in the same way you consider the other evidence. I am providing you with the recordings and a device with instructions on its use. It's up to you to decide whether to listen to the A recording during your deliberations. You may, if you wish, rely on your recollections of what you heard during the trial. If during your deliberations you wish to have another opportunity to view any transcript, as you listen to a recording, send a written message to the marshal, court security officer, and I will provide you with the transcripts. Certain summary charts were admitted in evidence. You may use those summary charts as evidence. The accuracy of the summary charts has been challenged. The underlying documents evidence have also been admitted so that you may determine whether the summary charts are accurate. It is up to you to decide how much weight to give the summary charts. Certain summary charts were shown to you to help explain other evidence that was admitted. Specifically, identify the demonstrative exhibit if appropriate. These summary charts are not themselves evidence or proof of any facts. So you will not have these particular summaries charts during your deliberations. If they do not correctly reflect the facts shown by the evidence, you should disregard the summaries charts and determine the facts from the underlying evidence. If you have taken notes during the trial, you may use them during deliberations to help you remember what happened during the trial. You should use your notes only as aids to your memory. The notes are not evidence. All of you should rely on your independent recollection of the evidence, and you should not be unduly influenced by the notes of other jurors. Notes are not entitled to any more weight than the memory or impressions of each juror. Consideration of the charges. Even though the defendants are being tried together, you must consider each defendant and the evidence concerning that defendant separately. Your decision concerning one defendant, whether it is guilty or not guilty, should not influence your decision concerning any other defendant. Defendants Robert Kelly and Daryl McDavid have each been accused of more than one crime. The number of charges is not evidence of guilt and should not influence your decision. You must consider each charge separately and the evidence concerning each charge separately. Your decision on one charge, whether it is guilty or not guilty, should not influence your decision on any other charge. The indictment charges the crimes happen on or about certain dates. The government must prove that the crimes happen reasonably close to those dates. The government is not required to prove that the crimes happen on those exact dates. Terms applicable to multiple counts. Some of the charges contain the same terms. I will define for you now some of those terms. I will give you and later instructions additional definitions for terms that are applicable and to specific charges. Knowingly, a person acts knowingly if he realizes what he is doing and is aware of a nature of his conduct and does not act through ignorance, mistake, or accident. In deciding whether a defendant acted knowingly, you may consider all of the evidence, including what the defendant did or said. Minor means any person under the age of 18 years, except when determining whether the defendant has committed the offense of aggravated criminal sexual abuse, which will be defined later in these instructions. Stop. How is minor means any person under the age of 18 when, hold on, when, let's go here. Let's go here. Hold on. Let's see. The analysis identified 3 such situations. In all 3 cases, the federal age of consent established as 18. Now watch this. This where it goes crazy at. Let's go right here. According to federal law, the legal age of consent is between 12 and 16 years. Having sex with a minor between the ages of 12 and 16 who is at least 4 years younger is a crime. This would mean that a 17-year-old boy engaging in sexual activity with a 13-year-old girl is a crime. If the girl was 15 years old, however, it is not. Each jurisdiction takes a slightly different approach to determining age of consent, which as the actual age ranging from 10 to 18 years, many states consider the relative ages of the participants. In all states, a person under the age of consent who engages in sexual activities is considered the victim, and the older partner is the perpetrator. The legal age of consent may also vary in each jurisdiction depending on the type of sexual act, the gender of the parties, and the special circumstances. Hold on. Romeo and Juliet laws. Many statutory rape cases involve 2 teens engaging in sex with one another. Some involve one partner who is technically an adult at age 18 with another who is a minor. Though the 2 may have dated for a period of months and years, the age of consent laws in most jurisdictions were strict and flexible, giving prosecutors no room for allowance of teenage lovers. Okay, that's the Romeo and Juliet law. Age of consent by state. Let's go. Alabama 16. Acceptable age difference 2. Alaska 16. Acceptable age difference of 3. Let's go to Illinois. Illinois 17. Acceptable age difference. There is none. So therefore, they have to be 17, not 18. But there is no acceptable age difference. So you can be any age as long as that person is 17. You know what I'm saying? Hawaii, the person got to be 16. But the age difference, and you can't be no more than 5 years over the age of 16. Idaho is 18. you can't be no years over. See? There is no age acceptability for the Idaho. I meant to say, I'm sorry. Indiana, 16, right next door to Illinois. But there is no acceptable age difference. Iowa, 16. There is acceptable age difference. You can't be no more than 4 years older. Kansas, 16, there's none. Kentucky, 16, there's no acceptable age difference. Louisiana, 17, you can't be no more than 3 years over. Maine, 16, you can't be no more than 5 years over. Maryland, 16, you can't be no more than 4 years over. Massachusetts, 16, there is no acceptable age difference law. Michigan, 16, there is no acceptable age age difference law. Minnesota, 16, you can only be 2 years older. Mississippi, 16, you can only be 2 years over. Missouri is 17, there is none. Montana, 16, there is none. Nebraska, 16, there is none. In Nevada, 16, there is none. New Hampshire, 16, there is none. New Jersey, 16, you can't be no more than 4 years over. New Mexico, 16, you can't be no more than 4 years over. New York, 17, there is none statute of over age. So, what? North Carolina, you can't be no more than 4 years over. North Dakota, you got to be 18, and there is no over age. Ohio, you got to be 16, there is none over age. Oklahoma, 16, and there's no over age. Oregon, 18, and you can't be 3 years over the age of 18. Whew. This is deep. So all of the main slave states don't have none. So with that being said, how can they say 18 when the legal age of consent is 17 and acceptable age difference there is none? Make that make sense. Okay, EJ, trial gonna be suspended tomorrow too? Okay, cool. Cool, so there's no trial tomorrow for Chicago. However, how can you go against this? You can't. You can't. Georgia, you got to be 16 and there's no age limit difference. Florida, 18, there's no age limit difference. Delaware, 18, there's no age limit difference. California, 18, there's no age limit difference. Let's make this make sense. Come on, man. So, at the end of the day, they coming up with stuff that they want to come up with. That's not making sense. Child pornography means a visual depiction. Child pornography means a visual depiction of sexually explicit conduct. I know I just hit the button. There you go. Including any photograph, film, video, or picture, whether made or produced by electronic, mechanical, and other means. If the production of the visual depiction involves the use of a minor engaged in sexually explicit conduct, visual depiction includes any video, whether made or produced by electronic, mechanical, or other means. Producing includes producing, directing, manufacturing, issuing, publishing, and or advertising. Sexually explicit conduct includes actual or simulated sexual intercourse, including genital, oral to genital, anal to genital, and oral to anal. Masturbation or lascivious exhibit of the anus, genitals, or public area or pubic area of any person. So since there's no court tomorrow, I'm going to stop right there. And we're going to pick up tomorrow afternoon from 20 to 48. Because we're on 20 now. So we're going to pick up from 21 to 48. Okay? I don't want to bore y'all too much. But I've been on here for like an hour and a half. So I know y'all ADHD kicking in. Y'all got to go get lunch, all that. So, let's look at the side of this for a minute. Comment at A5. 18 USC 22563. Comment at A6. The committee comments to 18 USC and 22562A expressly state only the applicable terms within the definition should be used. No evidence existed of sadistic and masochistic abuse. Hold on. Ain't this what they allege? Hold on. Look, if y'all want me to keep going, just say keep going. And just put in the chat, keep going. Because I just stumbled across something. If y'all want me to keep going, just say keep going. But this right here says the committee comments to 18 USC 22562A expressly state only the applicable terms within this definition should be used. No evidence existed of sadistic or masochistic abuse. So wait a minute. They lock him up on sadistic and masochistic abuse. Now they saying no evidence existed. And they deleted it. Here it go. They deleted 3. Sadistic and masochistic abuse. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I wonder why they put it in the side notes. I wonder why they put it in the side notes and not in the major notes. They took out sadistic and masochistic abuse and put in masturbation. And you see how it's pointing? Then they put in lascivious exhibit. Lascivious exhibit. Okay. So, here's my thing. They've been saying that it's been sadistic and masochistic abuse. How can that be possible if y'all deleted it out of your term and said no evidence existed of sadistic or masochistic abuse? Somebody make this make sense. Somebody make this make sense. If there's no evidence that existed, right? How in the ham sandwich on Jesus' name can you charge this man for anything when y'all main piece, y'all are acknowledging in the fourth quarter, 56 seconds left in the game, Michael Jordan got the ball. The Bulls down by 1 in 1992. You know what's going to happen. No evidence existed. No evidence existed. How is that even possible? If there's no evidence of sadistic or masochistic abuse, how can y'all have this charge? But that's what y'all picked him up on. I'm not understanding this. Lascivious exhibitation is a display that calls attention to the genitals or pubic area for the purpose of eliciting a sexual response in the viewer. Coerce means 1, using threats or serious harm to or physical restraint. Hold on. Coerce means 1, using threats of serious harm to or physical restraint against any person. So who was coerced? Okay. Any scheme, plan, or pattern intended to cause a person to believe that failure to perform an act will result in serious harm to or physical restraint against any person. The government is doing that. Didn't they threaten to take Roshana Section 8 house and all that? Ain't that's what they came back and said? Isn't this what you testified to and told our agents? Come on. Everything I've been saying from the jump, he's been kidnapped. But make sure y'all don't kill him in that warehouse. I've been saying all of that. And people has came against me. Oh, Dana, you don't know what you're talking about. Oh, Dana, this and this and this. And now y'all seeing it play out in front of your face again. So now I guess nobody know what they talking about because y'all didn't come up with it. Or 3, the abuse or threatened abuse of law or the legal process. Didn't the government do that? Serious harm means any harm, whether physical or non-physical, including psychological, financial, or reputational harm, that is sufficiently serious under the circumstances to compel a reasonable person of the same background and in the same circumstances to perform or to continue performing sexual activity in order to avoid incurring that harm. Interstate commerce means commerce between different states, territories, and possessions of the United States, including the District of Columbia. Stop. This is where I get you at. Interstate commerce means commerce between different states. Stop. The only capital is the District of Columbia. And to violate the District of Columbia, you got to live 80 miles north, east, south, and west. I do believe Chicago is more than 80 miles from Washington, D.C. I have told y'all that. So while they try to dress this up to make this seem like something long and thought out, no, it's not. This is crazy. Interstate commerce is any direction that's 88 miles north, east, south, and west outside of the District of Columbia. That's why the District of Columbia cannot be a state, even though they tried to make it a state. No, if you make it a state, it takes the power from the Queen of England. The Queen of England gave the rules to the United States, and that's what the United States go by. That's why you see people try to undermine God's sovereignty and call them sovereign citizens. You can't be a sovereign and a citizen, and you can't mix public and private. I've been trying to tell y'all that. So images transmitted or received over the internet have moved using a means or facility of interstate or foreign commerce. Why do you think it's called foreign commerce? Anything outside of DC, 88 miles, it's foreign. Maryland belongs to the District of Columbia. Virginia belongs to the District of Columbia. DC, the District of Columbia. West Virginia, The beginning part belongs to the District of Columbia. Fredericksburg belonged to the District of Columbia. Make it make sense. Georgia is not part of the District of Columbia. That's why you transfer it to foreign commerce. Think about it. You go from interstate commerce, and they give you this big old speech about interstate commerce, hoping that you wouldn't catch it when they said including the District of Columbia. Interstate commerce means commerce between different states, territories, and possessions of the United States. Here's a question. What do the United States own? Nothing. They bankrupt. So how do you own anything if you bankrupt? Including the District of including the District of Columbia. Then they say images transmitted or received over the internet have moved using a means or facility of interstate or foreign commerce. How can you use a facility of interstate commerce? Where's the facility? Interstate commerce. It have to be anything 88 miles within DC, right? So what is foreign commerce? Let's go there. Hold on. Let's go there. Let's go there. See, I believe in doing things right. What is foreign commerce? Foreign commerce means commerce between any place in the United States and any place in a foreign country, or between places in the United States through any foreign country. I haven't been wrong yet. And the reason why they put foreign commerce, why? Because it means commerce between any place in the United. United is a West Virginia corporation having its principal place of business in Charleston, West Virginia. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Foreign commerce accounted for over 60% of total waterborne commerce by weight in 2009. Like I say, I'm not going to steer you wrong. I'm going to put you on the right path. It is for you to determine, however, if the material containing the visual depiction had been transmitted or received over the internet. Foreign commerce means commerce between any state, territory, or possession of the United States and a foreign country. Stop. How can foreign commerce and interstate commerce mean the same thing? Answer that. How can foreign commerce and interstate commerce mean the same thing? Not unless you operating as a person. Let's go here. I'm going to take it there for you. Let's go there and I'll be there. See, I believe in educating the folks no matter how long it take. Bam. One. Bam. Two. Okay. Let's put that down for a second. Let's put that down. Let's go here. Here we go. You can only be operational if you operating under public legal, aka de facto. That's the only way. Hold on. There we go. That's the only way. If you operating in purple, then I understand. And I'm going to slide it over a little bit. Because now what I'm going to show you is this right here. Everything I've been telling y'all for a while. If you're a man, the courts can't deal with you. Why? Because first of all, your name is improper now. You created by the divine. You're a living, breathing being. You're under divine law. You're a divine jurisdiction. You're free. You operate in private. You're a nonfiction. You guided by the spirit. If you're a person, which is your birth certificate and social security card, you're a John Doe, created by the state, dead entity, under codes and acts. You're under the government jurisdiction. You're a 14th Amendment slave. You live in public. You're a fiction person and you possessed by an entity. That's how you can talk. So either way you put it, y'all use certificate of birth, aka birth certificates. But that's all you do is say it backwards. We use the record of live birth, aka the certificate of live birth. Now look, you don't see it say sovereign citizen. You see sovereign man or woman, meaning you were born from your mama's vagina, or you came from the stomach. And y'all are born from the earth. Living fact, evidence of life outside the government. Don't y'all live outside the government? Yes. This right here, the birth certificate, registered title of an artificial person, corporate straw man, legal fiction, trade name, created and owned by the government. What do you think your birth certificate and social security number is? Social security card is. This is why when I say I break this down, I break it down. This is the proper way of signing your name in sui juris. First name, first letter, everything else lowercase. Then you put the 2 dots behind it. Then you space. Then you put your last name. That's in sui juris, is the beneficiary of the trustee government by lawful right and the express trust, SISQV trust. Dana, so what are you saying? That all caps name that you go and pay your bills and everything with, that's false. You're living a lie. That's not who you are. You're not a legal fiction. You're not a corporate straw man. And see, when I talk about inalienable rights and freedoms, here it is in common law that cannot be taken away in unalienable rights. All human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. They are endowed with reason and conscience and should act towards one another in a spirit of brotherhood. Watch this. Given privileges and benefits is when you operating under public and legal. That can be taken away. Usufruct, human being, monster, a human being by birth, but in some part resembling a lower animal, A monster hath no inheritable blood and cannot be heir to any land. Ballatane's Law Dictionary, 1930. It's right there in front of your face. And you know what they say? If you put it in a book, color folks won't read it. So why you keep calling yourself black? Look, natural man, woman lives in freedom. With their autograph, that's how you sign your name. Artificial person is played by an actor. Actorium slave syndicum has a signature. Make it make sense. They ask you to sign your signature, right? And when I tell them I don't have a signature, I have an autograph, they get mad. So I have all the stuff that y'all need, man. I have it all. Let's get back to it. I just wanted to show y'all that so that way y'all know exactly what's going on. Okay, Secretary Committee. Specific counts. I will now describe to you the specific charges in the indictment and what is required to prove each of those charges. Right? Formatted, justified, indent, first line, 0.5 inches, line spacing double. Okay. Deleted, minor 1. Wait a minute. You see how they changing it? I thought Jane was a minor. And what's up, Darren? Who was that, Lily? Oh, what's up, Lily? Look. Hold on. What Lily is that? Is that a... Because, you know, they be doing them fake pages, man. I don't know. Look. Delete minor 1. Sexual exploitation of Jane. Counts 1, 2, 3, and 4. Defendant Robert Kelly. Counts 1, 2, 3, and 4 of the indictment charge defendant Robert Kelly with sexual exploitation of Jane. In order for you to find the defendant guilty of this charge, the government must prove each of the following 3 elements beyond a reasonable doubt. At the time, Jane was under the age of 18 years. 2, the defendant, for the purpose of producing a visual depiction of such conduct employed, used, persuaded, or coerced Jane to take part in sexually explicit conduct in the manner described in a particular count you are considering. And 3, the visual depiction was mailed or actually transported across state lines or in foreign commerce. If you find from your consideration of all the evidence that the government has proved each of these elements beyond a reasonable doubt as to the particular count you are considering, then you should find that the defendant guilty of that count. If on the other hand, you find from your consideration of all the evidence that the government has failed to prove any of these elements beyond a reasonable doubt as to the particular count you are considering, then you should find the defendant not guilty of that count. Stop. Why did you delete minor 1? It's been minor 1 for 2 years. So why delete minor 1 now? Make that make sense. Why delete minor 1 now? You see how they deleted minor 1? Now all of a sudden it's Jane. Oh, the games the government play. Conspiracy counts, general instructions. Counts 5 and 6 of the indictment charge certain defendants with the offense of conspiracy. The following general instructions about conspiracy are applicable to both conspiracy counts. A conspiracy is an express or implied agreement between 2 or more persons to commit a crime. a conspiracy may be proven even if its goals were not accomplished. In deciding whether the charged conspiracy existed, you may consider all of the circumstances, including the words and acts of each of the alleged participants. Okay? To be a member of a conspiracy, a defendant does not need to join it at the beginning. If he does not need to know all of the other members or all of the means by which the illegal goals of the conspiracy were to be accomplished, the government must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant you are considering was aware of the illegal goals of the conspiracy and knowingly joined the conspiracy. A defendant is not a member of a conspiracy just because he knew and or associated with people who were involved in a conspiracy, knew there was a conspiracy, and was present during conspiratorial discussions. And deciding whether a defendant joined the charged conspiracy, you must base your decision only on what the defendant did or said. To determine what that defendant did or said, you may consider that defendant's own words or acts. You may also use the words or acts of other persons to help you decide what the defendant did or said. Here we go. Commented A8. Defendant objects to the inclusion of this non-pattern instruction. Deleted. Oh, shoot. The government need not prove that a defendant was aware of or played a role in every act of the conspiracy, or that the defendant knew every member of the conspiracy. Instead, the evidence need only show that the defendant was aware of the aim of the conspiracy and made a knowing decision to join it. Okay. Wait a minute. Hold the heck up. No, sir. No, sir. Conspiracy to obstruct justice, count 5. Defendants Robert Kelly and Daryl McDavid. Count 5 of the indictment charges defendants Robert Kelly and Daryl McDavid with conspiracy to violate 18 No. They said that he obstructed justice. You can't delete that and then put a statue there. No. If you are confident in what y'all said and what y'all charged them with, why try to change it now? No. Count 5 of the indictment charges defendants Robert Kelly and Daryl McDavid with conspiracy to violate 18 U.S.C. 1519. In order for you to find a defendant guilty of this charge, the government must prove each of the following 3 elements beyond a reasonable doubt. With conspiracy to obstruct justice. The conspiracy as charged in count 5 existed. 2, the defendant knowingly became a member of the conspiracy with an intent to advance the conspiracy. And 3, one of the conspirators committed an overt act in an effort to advance the goals of the conspiracy sometime after July 11, 2014. But wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. Put some Dana J up in it. Didn't they say Jack Palladino did that? So how you going to charge R. Kelly and Daryl McDavid when Jack Palladino are the only ones that went and hired people to get that stuff back? Make it make sense. An overt act is any act done to carry out the goals of the conspiracy. The government is not required to prove all of the overt acts charged in the indictment. The overt act may itself be a lawful act. If you find from your consideration of all the evidence that the government has proved each of these elements beyond a reasonable doubt as to the particular defendant you are considering, then you should find that defendant guilty. If, on the other hand, you find from your consideration of all the evidence that the government has failed to prove any of these elements, and I mean any of these elements, beyond a reasonable doubt as to the particular defendant you are considering, then you should find that defendant not guilty. Hold on. Wait a minute. I gotta make a phone call. I just need to find this funny. Hold on. Hold on.
What up, dog?
Are you looking at this?
What is it?
How the government is trying to change the words and everything around?
Oh, what channel is it on? Is it on your joint?
I'm live talking about it.
Oh, word. Okay, I'm about to turn it on right now. I was watching you earlier, then I had to run, but I'm about to turn it on right now.
So what you had to say about earlier? Go ahead.
You a crazy motherfucker. That's what I have to say. You are crazy as hell.
What? I didn't do anything.
Nigga, that shit. I said, this nigga is crazy. You are crazy as hell.
So you know they deleted obstruct justice, right?
They deleted it?
Yeah.
You saying like now is not a terminology? They totally removed it?
Yeah. And they put count 5 of the indictment charges defendants Robert Kelly and Daryl McDavid with conspiracy to violate 18 USC 1519.
Well, that's what they do. I mean, everything, everything with them is wording. Everything with them is basically, how they get down is all words, bro. It's all, mastering the language and shit. And they're masters of the language. They're masters of technology. They know how to trick. It's all bullshit, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's what I've been doing, just a bunch of research and studying on this. If at least one of those jurors follow the law and follow the jury instructions, there's no way in the world they can convict them. Because this is all bullshit, bro.
So wait.
It's all...
Yeah, man. Turn them up. Because they deleted minor 1 too.
Oh, did they?
There is no minor 1. It's Jane now.
Yeah, it's all word tricks. But I'm about to turn it on. You got me on? Am I on your live right now?
Yeah, you live now, nigga.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm just a swearing.
I don't care.
I try not to swear on your live.
Everybody said hello, cousin.
Hey, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing, man? What's going on? Yeah, but it's all word tricks. And this is what I was saying, bro. From the beginning, when I first started Levi for Kelly, is that I was concentrating more, y'all have heard me say it 1,000 times, on the legal aspect, the legal wording, everything is words. It was words spoken on Lifetime that started this, and it has been words every since. If you notice, the first thing I noticed 3 years ago, they would use the word, they would say school age. You feel me? When describing an 18-year-old, they would say school age. I'm like, damn, just say the age. And then it was a lot of on or about, and then they'll talk about the ages somewhere between this and somewhere between that. It was all BS, man. And what upset me about it is that when you were using your channel to offer more of an analysis, I was definitely analyzing everything, and a couple of more bloggers were being analytical, including the ladies of M2. Here we go. Here Here we go.
If,
Well,
if you looked at my live earlier, and you understand why.
I'll check it out. But you know, we have been going up against intellectual minds, intellectual thinkers, and I'm talking about the government. I'm talking about individuals who, Brother Malik will tell you this in a minute. That these are individuals who are at the pinnacle of intelligence on a physical level, on a carnal level. Their intelligence can never rival spiritual intelligence. When I saw you at the rally 3 years ago, and the lady was talking about her son was unjustly locked up, and you guys were praying for her. You started a prayer for her. That was all spiritual. When Brother Will Edie stood outside of the MCC and he offered up a prayer. If you go back and you play that tape when Brother Will Edie was praying, people were coming together spiritually and intellectually, and that made us a force to be reckoned with. But if you go back and you play that tape of Brother Will Edie speaking those eloquent words of prayer, 1 minute later, after the baby killer stayed away from him. He stayed in the background. He didn't introduce himself. He wasn't up there. He was laying back because he had a plan. And you know who sent him. But about a minute after Brother Will Edie did that prayer, said that beautiful prayer, the baby killer comes back on camera and he's talking about haters and using the worst vile speech, fuck this and, hit the motherfucking cat, just disrespectful vile speech. And I knew that the power of the movement was being lost. Because whenever you have confusion, whenever you have a profanity, even though we've all, how do you combat these people when they talking cap or whatever, you're going to start swearing too. But whenever you have that climate of that which is less than civil, when the swearing and the name calling and the dog head this, the dog head that, I'm going to sodomize your kids, I'm going to do all this stuff, it was over, bro. It was over as it pertains to the Rkelly YouTube sector. People were turned off by that. You feel me? People were turned off by that. I'm gonna say this too. Be quiet, boy. I'm gonna say this, man. That somebody sent me some clips of dude and bowling, the fucking super fan. Man, if you listen, bro. If you go back and listen to this dude talking about sodomizing Larry's daughter, Larry's wife, and just the vile, filthy speech coming out of this guy's mouth, threatening people. He told one woman, I don't know which woman he was talking about. That beast told a woman, I'm gonna defecate on your mama's grave. Yeah. He said, I'm going to defecate on your mama's grave. I don't know who he was talking to.
Wow.
Man, somebody sent me that clip, and I sent you something like, who is this woman talking to him? Right after he said that, a woman called him and was like, you're such a leader. You're so intelligent. And I'm like, wait a minute. Hold on. Did you just hear this nigga talk about defecating on a woman's grave, sodomizing people's kids? So what I'm saying to you, Brother Dana, nephew, is that when it comes to YouTube, Rob never had a chance. It was unfortunate that a bunch of low-life despots, unintelligent, elementary school dropouts, some of the worst of the worst, niggas violating their own kids, killing babies, talking about sodomizing kids, and just the worst of the worst, bro. And I'm stuck right there. I'm not moving on from there. This is why he's in the situation that he's in. When I listen to you read the transcripts, bro, all I think about is how the prosecutors and the government play. I want you to think with me, nephew, and I want the people to think with me. Everything came down to chronology in Robert's cases. It came down to dates, time, places, and people. Where were you at? Were you here? When did you meet her? How old was she? When did you film the video? Everything was dates and times, bro. So they knew if he were allowed to make bond, you know how Rob is. He's going to pull out paperwork. He's going to go to his storage. He's going to sit and think all night. Where's this at? Where are these, be quiet, boy? Where are these receipts at? Where are these? He's going to be able to connect the dots. So they knew if we're going to be successful in prosecuting this man, we have to take him away from his home, his peace of mind, his ability to call this person, call that person, call hotels, get receipts, show that their timeline, excuse me for swearing, their timeline is fucked up. The government's timeline is bullshit, okay? Half of what you're seeing in that Chicago courtroom is outright fabricated goddamn lies. And they can easily be disproven, easily be refuted, if that man had a chance to sit in his home, sit in his house, go to his storage, make telephone calls to show that their timeline is obscure. So they were very smart in saying we cannot let him be at home. We have to deny his bond. A man has never been convicted of a crime. A man with no criminal record. We're going to deny his bond. We're going to make him sit in prison for 3 goddamn years. And he hasn't been convicted of anything. It is the most egregious, unconstitutional, when it comes to human rights. What was done to him so far is enough to let us know that there is no justice. The injustice was dealt to him 3.5 years ago. That's the injustice. That's what I'm focusing on. Y'all don't see me on YouTube because I'm not on YouTube. I'm not here for that. I'm here to go to those areas that are going to ultimately free him once the world understands what actually took place. What actually took place. You had individuals who hate his guts. I'm going to say it. These niggas who hate him with a passion came in and came on to disrupt, to divide, to do what they did. Jealous of him, hate him. Everyone you've heard speak ill about him. The magazine paper carrying nigga tries to pretend he's neutral. No, he tries to pretend he's neutral. He's never been neutral. I already know the scoop on him. He hates Robert. They hate him. And they were allowed to come in and cause that division and disruption because we were making traction. When Tasha K came at you and me, that's when I knew, we making traction. Here's a woman with damn near at the time she had 400,000-500,000 subscribers, and she's talking about Dana J and Levi because she knew we were impactful. Not just you and I, but all of those sincere people they were making an impact. So I'm telling y'all, it was these people on YouTube who presently were responsible for Rob being in a situation that he's in. They mentioned them in the damn paperwork. They talked about what they were doing, but they did not arrest them and prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law because they knew if we open that door to bring them inside of the damn prison, automatically by law, Robert has to walk out. You feel me? So, I'm sorry for talking so long, bro, but y'all have not seen me on YouTube because I'm the kind of person that I get the shit done legally, administratively. That's all I do is read, research. You feel me? I've said this to y'all 1,000 times. I've heard people laugh about it and joke about it and say, Levi capping. But I'll say it again. The baby killer, you are about to hear his arrest in just a minute. You're about to hear of it. Okay, you're about to hear of his arrest. Give me a minute. He's going to be picked the hell up and arrested. And I doubt if he ever sees the light of day again. Because everyone, and I'm done when I say this, Dana, every single one who has posed as a impediment and an obstruct to my cousin's cases, I'm telling you, you're going to be made to pay a legal price. Trust me when I tell you, this ain't no cap. I'm not playing with niggas. This has been horrific for him. It has been absolutely horrific, bro. And a price has to be paid, my brother. That's it. So I'm about to listen to you live, man.
All right.
Word up.
All right. Man. Sheesh. All right, let's get back into it. Wow. I can't find what I'm looking for. Wait a minute. Oh, excuse me. Let's go to restored. Hold on, give me a second, y'all. Hold on. Just Jay. Just hilarious. Let's see. Where's that picture I'm looking for? Here's one. Save as. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Hold on, I'm getting something for y'all. Hold on. Some exhibits I want to show. Wait a minute. I ain't see all this. they don't know about you and me. Get it out your mind, 'cause it's fantasy. They don't know what it is to me. Don't listen to what people say. They don't know about. I just gotta bust some people in the head real quick with something. Because folks just want to keep trying to test gangsters and different things, right? So I'm just gonna show a little something, prove a little something, laugh at about a little something. Just keep it going. Hold on, y'all. Bear along with me. Bear along with me. Bear along with me. Just bear along with me. Hold on. So hold on, let me get this out the way. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Flashlight. I don't know where the rest of it's at. That's restored randoms. Okay, let's go to pictures. ATL life. Press material. Pictures photo shoot. Here it is. Industry pics. Nope, not there neither. Playtime. Save picture, scanless hair. Shorty low, figure off. This and that, easy shit. No, man. Changing an actress lifestyle. It's in here. Okay. It has to be in here. I'll come back to it, I think. I might have overlooked it. I might have overlooked it. I was looking for this one picture. Okay. So right here, what you see, I'll come back to it. But while I'm at it, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna download this. Download this real quick. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Do those real quick. All right. So if you look in the upper right-hand box, thank you so much, Ms. Jennings. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate everybody. Sorry for that. I just had to show that real quick. Well, get it ready to show. If you look at 29, up in the upper right-hand corner, it says deleted. Count 5 charges a conspiracy to commit the offense of obstruction of justice. The offense of obstruction of justice is committed when 1. A person knowingly alters, destroys, mutilates, conceals, cover up, falsifies, or makes a false entry in any record, document, or tangible object. 2. A person acts with the intent to impede, obstruct, or influence an investigation or proper administration of any matter. And 3. The investigation of matter is within the jurisdiction of an agency of the United States. So they deleted this count, this one of count 5. Then they brought in this count 5. Count 5 of the indictment alleges that the conspiracy to obstruct justice began in approximately 2000. That's not what they said. They said from 1998 until 2014. What in the world? Count 5 of the indictment alleges that the conspiracy to obstruct justice began in approximately 2000 and continued through February 13th, 2020. In evaluating the evidence with respect to count 5, you may consider evidence of conduct and events prior to July 11, 2014. However, in order for you to find a defendant guilty of count 5, you must find beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant was a member of the charged conspiracy and that on or after July 11, 2014, the charged conspiracy existed or continued to exist, and 2, a co-conspirator committed at least one overt act in the furtherance of the... Okay, that's when it stops. That's when it stops. But then over here it say deleted. For purpose of count 5, a tangible object is an object that can be used to record or preserve information. An agency of the United States includes Homeland Security Investigations, or HSI. An investigation regarding child pornography is a matter within the jurisdiction of that agency. An investigation of or matter within the jurisdiction of an agency of the United States need not have been pending or imminent at the time of the conduct. It is sufficient that the act was done in contemplation of or in relation to a matter or investigation that is within the jurisdiction of the federal agency. So they deleted all this. The government is not strong in their stance. They deleted this. You have heard testimony that defendant Rkelly was charged in state court with child pornography offenses relating to video 1 and minor 1. He was acquitted of these charges after a state court trial. The state and federal governments are separate sovereigns. Here we go. Here we go. If it wasn't true what I said about sovereigns and not sovereign citizens, why is the government using it? Why is the government using it? The state and federal governments are separate sovereigns. So here we go. Let's look up the word sovereign. Let's look it up. It means one possessing or held to possess supreme political power or sovereignty. One that exercises supreme authority within a limited sphere. An acknowledged leader, arbiter. Any of various gold coins of the United Kingdom. Ooh. Thank you again, Ms. Jennings. I appreciate you for the 50 piece. The 50 piece. I appreciate you for the 50 piece. So I have a question. If you was born with your God inalienable rights, right? Why can't you be sovereign and not labeled as a sovereign citizen? Aren't you one possessing or held to possess supreme political power or sovereignty over yourself? Aren't you one that exercises supreme authority within a limited sphere? Aren't you an acknowledged leader? That means you're sovereign, right? Don't never let nobody call you a sovereign citizen. There's no such thing of a sovereign citizen. A sovereign citizen is a terrorist. And I'm not talking about for joking reasons. I'm talking about seriously. Anybody that want to mix private and public together is crazy and a terrorist. They also deleted, you have heard evidence that certain witnesses took one or more polygraph tests. You may consider evidence related to a polygraph test only in deciding one, whether the charge of conspiracy to obstruct justice existed, and two, if you find the conspiracy existed, whether Rkelly and or Daryl McDavid knew about the conspiracy and participated in it. You may not consider this evidence in evaluating the credibility or of testimony given by a witness who took a polygraph test or for any other purpose. Y'all see it. Conspiracy to receive child pornography, count 6. So I have a question to ask y'all. With everything that y'all heard so far, the conspiracy is Chuck Freeman, Keith Morrell, Lisa Van Allen, Yul Brown, not June Brown, but Yul Brown. That's who the conspiracy is on. How can a conspiracy be on Robert Sylvester Kelly? When the only thing he didn't want to do is have his wife exploited. And I showed y'all how they went and they tried to overdub for the pictures. Make it make sense. Count 6 of the indictment charges defendants Robert Kelly, Daryl McDavid, and Milton Brown with conspiracy to receive child pornography. In order for you to find a defendant guilty of this charge, the government must prove each of the following elements beyond a reasonable doubt. 1, the conspiracy is charged in count 6 of the indictment existed. And 2, the defendant knowingly became a member of the conspiracy with an intent to advance the conspiracy. If you find from your consideration of all the evidence that the government has proved each of these elements beyond a reasonable doubt as to the particular defendant you are considering, then you should find the defendant guilty. If, on the other hand, you find from your consideration of all the evidence that the government has failed to prove any of these elements beyond a reasonable doubt as to the particular defendant you are considering, then you should find that defendant not guilty. Count 6 of the indictment charges defendants Robert Kelly, Daryl McDavid, and Milton Brown with conspiracy to receive child pornography. The offense of receiving child pornography is committed when a person knowingly receives certain material. The material contains child pornography. The person knew both that the material depicted one or more minors and that minors were engaged in sexually explicit conduct. And 4, the material was mailed, shipped, or transported in interstate and foreign commerce by any means. Well, Robert didn't ship it out. Robert didn't mail it out. Robert didn't transport it. So how is he being charged with it? Count 7. Are y'all bored yet? If y'all bored yet, tell me to stop, and I'll pick up, and I'll do from page 35 to 48 tomorrow. If you want me to keep going, say keep going. If y'all want me to keep going, say keep going. Okay, Chris already said keep going. Okay. Count 7 and 8, receipt of child pornography. Defendants Robert Kelly and Daryl McDavid. Count 7 and 8 charge defendants Robert Kelly and Daryl McDavid with receipt of child pornography. In order for you to find a defendant guilty of this charge, the government must prove each of the following 4 elements beyond a reasonable doubt. 1, the defendant knowingly received the video or videos identified in a particular count you are considering. Didn't they say that nobody received the videos except for Jack Palladino? So you can't prove that. 2, the video or videos contain child pornography. Didn't they say there wasn't no child pornography on there? So you can't prove that. 3, the defendant knew both that the video or videos depicted a minor and that the minor was engaged in sexually explicit conduct. And 4, the video or videos was and were mailed, shipped, and transported in interstate and foreign commerce by any means. Now wait a minute. You can't say that Robert did that because stuff was stolen from him. So if something was stolen and then shipped or transported, that don't fall on him. That falls on a person, but that stole it, shipped it, and transported and altered it. Also, they said it wasn't no minor on the tape, but they said it was Lisa Van Allen, Robert Kelly, and Rkelly. What up, Miss Bougie? So if you find from your consideration of all the evidence that the government has proved each of these elements beyond a reasonable doubt as to the particular defendant and count you are considering, then you should find that defendant guilty. If on the other hand, you find from your consideration of all the evidence that the government has failed to prove any of these elements beyond a reasonable doubt as to the particular defendant and count you are considering, then you should find that defendant not guilty. They deleted this one for purposes of count 6, 7, and 8 and determining whether video 2, video 3, or video 4 contain a lascivious exhibit of the anus, genitals, or pubic area of any person. You may consider the intent and motivation of the videographer. They deleted this part. They deleted this part. Any person who knowingly aids, counsels, commands, induces, and or procures the commission of an offense may be found guilty of that offense if he knowingly participated in the criminal activity and tried to make it succeed. If a defendant knowingly caused the acts of another, then the defendant is responsible for those acts as though he personally committed them. That's defendant. Let's go. Counts 9, 10, 12, and 13. Charge defendant Robert Kelly with enticement of Jane. Whoa! Hell no! Wait. You deleted minor? Wait. Wait a minute. Wait one goddamn minute. Time out. You deleted minor? I thought they were minors. Now you want to put their name in it. Y'all already got the thing to put the pseudonym, but y'all had to make it a publicity stunt by putting minor in there. Now for, you know what, Atmos, I'm gonna call you out. Now that we know that there's no minors, that all minors have been deleted. All minor, 1, 2, 3, 4. They had the word minor in this one 4 times, and all 4 of them has been deleted. Can somebody tell me what the hell going on? Counts 9, 10, 12, and 13 charge defendant Robert Kelly with enticement of Jane, Nia, Pauline, and Brittany. Brittany ain't even show up. To engage in sexual activity. In order for you to find the defendant guilty of these charges, the government... Wait a minute, time out. I'm just looking at the way it was supposed to have been. In order for you to find the defendant guilty, they put his charges. See, here we go. But now they switch it to these. In order for you to find a defendant guilty of these charges, the government must prove each of the following 4 elements beyond a reasonable doubt. 1, the defendant used a facility or means of interstate commerce to knowingly persuade, induce, entice, or coerce Jane, Nia, Pauline, and Brittany to engage in sexual activity as charged in counts 9, 10, 12, and 13, respectively. 2, instead of it being minor, it says Jane, Nia, Pauline, and Brittany was less than 18 years of age. How was that possible? When all of them was over age. But stop. What was Tracy's name? Brittany didn't testify, so y'all can't use that. But what was Tracy Sampson's name? It seems like they took Tracy off the books. And Tracy was the one that had the damning testimony. I'm going to leave that there. I want y'all, matter of fact, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to leave that there for a second. I'm going to run to the bathroom. I want y'all to think about that. Think about that. I'll be right back. After these messages, Dana be right back. See, I catch the stuff that nobody else won't catch. Get that oodles and noodles. Let's pay attention to it. Then it says the defendant believed that Jane, Nia, Pauline, and Brittany was less than 18 years of age. How can you prove that? When they all lied about their age. Mm-hmm. If the sexual activity had occurred, the defendant would have committed the criminal offense of aggravated criminal sexual abuse as defined in the following instruction. I read that to you all. I read all this already to y'all. But they deleted. A person commits aggravated criminal sexual abuse if that person commits an act of sexual penetration or sexual conduct with a victim who is at least 13 years of age but under 17 years of age. Ah, here we go. They deleted that. So they deleted. A person commits aggravated criminal sexual abuse if that person commits an act of sexual penetration or sexual conduct with a victim who is at least 13 years of age but under 17 years of age, and the person is at least 5 years older than the victim. Well, here we go. The individual was at least 13 years of age, but under 17 years of age when the act was committed. And 3, the defendant was at least 5 years older than the individual. That the defendant did not reasonably the individual to be 17 years of age or older. Uh-oh. Sexual conduct is defined by an international or knowingly touching and fondling by the victim or the accused, either directly or through clothing of the sex organs, anus, or breasts of the victim or the accused for the purpose of sexual gratification and arousal of the victim or the accused. And they deleted this. Or any transfer or transmission of semen by the accused upon any part of the clothed or unclothed body of the victim for the purpose of sexual gratification or arousal of the victim or the accused. Stop. This right here proves everything. If that was Rashona on a tape, and on that tape, they say R. Kelly nutted or ejaculated or came on Rashona's body. If they can prove that, right? Why would they delete the one part that would directly give them a slam dunk on R. Kelly? Which makes me believe that the people are just following a witch hunt, because they deleted one that said, or any transfer or transmission of semen by the accused upon any part of the clothed or unclothed body of the victim for the purpose of sexual gratification or arousal of the victim or the accused. So if that was Rashona on a tape, that person ejaculated over top of the Rashona wannabe, right? Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. So if that was Rashona on a tape, why take out the part that directly links R. Kelly to that. I'll tell you why. Because maybe that wasn't R. Kelly on tape. And maybe that wasn't ever shown on the tape either. Make it make sense. That's why. Enticement of a minor, count 11. Now watch this. They got enticement of a minor here, right? But they deleted the word minor here and here. This goes to Tracy. Count 11 charges defendant Robert Kelly with enticement of a minor, Tracy, to engage in sexual activity. In order for you to find the defendant guilty of this charge, the government must prove each of the following 4 elements beyond a reasonable doubt. The defendant used a facility or means of interstate commerce to knowingly persuade, induce, entice, or coerce a minor to engage in sexual activity as charged in count 11. 2. Tracy was less than 18 years of age. We know that that's a lie. The defendant believed that Tracy was less than 18 years of age. We know that that's a lie. But they took minor out and put Tracy's name in it. If the sexual activity had occurred, the defendant would have committed the criminal offense of 18 USC 2251 A, sexual exploitation of a child, which is defined in the following instruction. Okay. For purposes of count 11, to prove the criminal offense of sexual exploitation of a child under 18 USC 2251A, the government must prove the following 3 elements beyond a reasonable doubt. 1. At the time, Tracy was under the age of 18 years old. She wasn't. 2. The defendant, of the purpose of producing a visual depiction of such conduct, employed, used, persuaded, or coerced Tracy to take part in the sexually explicit conduct. The defendant knew or had reason to know that such a visual depiction would be mailed or transported across state lines or in foreign commerce. How did he know that? There's no way he would have known that. Oh, wait a minute. They deliberate. Wait, I said deliberate. They deleted the consent of voluntary participation of a minor is not a defense to the charges stated in counts 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13, and has no relevance to the defendant's guilt or innocence of the charges. Whew. In deciding your verdict, you should not consider the possible punishment for the defendants who are on trial. If you decide that the government has proved the defendant guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, then it will be my job to decide on the appropriate punishment. Check this out. I think Robert's, I'm gonna stand firm and say this. I think Robert is going to walk because at the end of the day, they can't prove them elements, and they haven't done it. Everything has been poked and everything. Jennifer and Bo Brindley has did a great job. This needs to be updated. They got MySpace on here. This is just instructions for the jurors. A verdict form has been prepared for you. Oh, see, that's stuff for the jurors. Well, that's it for that. So, I'm going to ask y'all a question. Do y'all believe that Robert Kelly... let me ask it this way. Do y'all believe that the government has proven their point with Robert Kelly? Do y'all believe that? Do y'all believe that Robert Kelly do y'all believe that the government has proven their point against Robert Kelly beyond a reasonable doubt? I'm gonna give y'all time to type in the chat. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Don't listen to what people say. They don't know about you and me. Put it out your mind, 'cause it's jealousy. They don't know what it is me. Don't listen to what people say. They don't know about you and me. I'm dying to see what y'all gonna say. Put it out your mind, 'cause it's jealousy. They don't know. The good old days. When you run around and get your dick. Dana stupid. Stupid. When you run around and get your look. Good old days, boy. Sheesh. I was a hoe. Dana was a hoe. Ho. Let me see what y'all saying. Let me see what y'all saying. Let me see what y'all saying. Yo, I had so much stuff, yo. Let me see what y'all saying. Girl, I must warn you. I can't find what I needed. Oh, man. Yeah, man. She's so fine. She'll blow you right out of your mind. Here I come. Hold on. Yeah, when I was with Kimberly. I went through some crazy days, boy. Yep. This is what I need right here. This is what I need in my background. Yes. Yes. Harbor Park. Folks don't understand. Hammerjacks. Me and Future. I was terrible. Boy, if y'all can see the pictures in this phone. I was terrible. I don't know. I might bring Peanut Live back out. I don't know what I might do. All right. Let's see what y'all think. What up, Zola? Let's free Rkelly. Hello, everyone. Y'all saying hello, everyone. So y'all don't, man. See what y'all said. No to such reasonable doubt. But idiots are dumb enough to trust a man. No. No, can't. It was a waste of time to begin with. Lots of money being spent, unnecessary. People, not guilty, okay? Dana Robert will walk. They need to give it up my Brandy voice. Hey, Queen J. Okay? Cool. That's what I say. But, I'm about to make something note. I'm about to make a note of something real quick. I don't know who's been running around lying, right? But one thing you ain't gonna do is lie on me. One thing you ain't gonna do is lie on me. Now, if you don't like me, that's one thing. But you ain't gonna lie on me. Okay? So, when I tell you I have personal relationships with people, that's just what it is. Now, I made a statement earlier about Tremaine, a.k.a. y'all might know him as Trey Songz, right? I made a statement about that. I miss home, man. Jesus. Y'all don't understand, man. I ain't gonna lie. Seeing this picture made me reminisce. I'm gonna take y'all on a little trip with Dana J real quick. And I'm gonna take y'all where I'm from and what we used to do. And I'm gonna just talk about some things. And I ain't boasting. I ain't bragging. I'm just putting the rubber to the road. Now, I got word that somebody was saying that I was lying about knowing Trey Songz and this and this. Yo, I knew Tremaine before he was Tremaine. And before he was Trey Songz. Trey Songz is for the fans. Tremaine is Tremaine. You know what I mean? Real cool, down to earth guy. So I'm gonna put it out there. we gonna go down this little train real quick. When I told y'all don't know who y'all talking to, a lot of the people thought that I was just an average guy. So let's go here. Farrah Franklin from Destiny's Child, one of the original members. Y'all know who it is. That's Baby Lord Magic, just hilarious. And everybody you see me with, I got a relationship with. This is my manager, Melinda. This is Deron back here, which is 112 is in the back. You feel me? So I just want to let you know something real quick. This is Wingo, a guy that I can call on the phone right now as we speak. Great guy, homie. Mike Will made it. Mike Will made it. No problem. John B, somebody I can call. I mean, everybody in here I can call, but me and Farrah again, waiting for our interview. I don't know these folks other than Nene. Y'all know Daryl. Y'all know Gail. But this was the meeting before the Rkelly joint. But who is this? I'm going to leave that there for y'all to figure out. Man, my dude, St. John, cool, on video set. Me and Farrah practicing. Oh, that's Snoop cussing Gail out. Me and Gotti. No problem. Me and Kane from Menace to Society. Right before I had to, well, this was after I had to kill him, but we was on Saints and Sinners together. Y'all know him as Tank. I know him as Darrell. Man, one of the best playwriters and movie writers out here now, and Jakarius Johnson. Me and my brother Trey Chaney that's out here doing his thing on Saints and Sinners. Oh, that's Daddy's 12-year-old Kayana. Attitude like a daddy. Me and the big homie, the big unk, Damian Hall. I'm going to just leave that there because y'all know who that is. My man Jesse. So, I'm going to take that out. Then I'm going to go here. If y'all don't know who it is, y'all should know. And I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to just say Love and Hip Hop, New York. Then I'm going to bring it on home with the big sis. If y'all don't know who that is, then I don't know what to tell y'all. Because telling y'all the names, y'all be like, oh, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, I'm going to just say her last name is false. And I'm going to leave it there. So let's give a tour, a little small tour where I'm from. This is called Harbor Park. We went to the movies here. We went to the club there. And we used to sing up in this deck right here of Harbor Park. That's where the acoustics was at. Right up in this deck right here. The very top deck right here. Once we leave the Fudgery, we'd be at Harbor Park. The movie theater was right here. The club was right here. Over here was like a little strip joint. Right here was like the prelude to the movie theater. That's no longer there. For people who know about Baltimore, we known for our club music. And Hammer Jacks is where we used to cut up You can't see out the side doors. You can only see out the front door and out the top joint. The first half of the night, I'm on the main floor. The other half, I'm upstairs on the back room having fun. You feel me? So because y'all regular people don't understand that I'm not a regular person, but I am a regular person, it's not my fault. Last but not least, home. This was upscale to us. This is where we played at. A lot of people be like, oh no, that's dirty. Da, 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 da. You better not call Old Town Mall dirty. That's what us project kids, us hood kids, that's where we played at. When we went hunting for rats, that's where we came to. And we had nothing but bottles and sticks. When we wanted a chicken box, we'd go to Mama Mia's. No, I'm sorry. Mama Mia's was right here. That was only the breakfast spot. If you want chicken, you'll go across to Maria's, which is right there. Right here was Super Kids. Woolworths was back here. Where I got my hair cut was right here. And then when they closed down, I got my hair cut right there. The first time that I ever got shot at was right here. I never forget it. Cause the dudes from Somerset, no, not Somerset, the dudes from Douglas came down and came around. They came through the back alleyway right here, cause right here is a back alleyway. So when they came shooting, I ran back up. And when I ran up, I cut across here, which is Somerset over there. This building right here is an old folks building. So I cut it through Somerset. And I went around Somerset and came around Fall Street, which leads to the back way. My church was right there on the corner, though. As soon as you hit that corner and bend that right and cross the street, that was my church, First Charity Baptist Church. That's the first church I ever got put out of. I got put out of First Charity Baptist Church. That's the first church I ever got put out of. Memories, man. This was Epstein's right here. Man. And then if you went to Dunbar, and the football team would walk from the school and cut across here, and they'd stop traffic, and they'd cut across the street, and Brooke, fat ass, used to be like right here, and she'd be getting the chicken box and going to the game. I never forget it when Lake played Dunbar down at Dunbar. It was like World War III. Don't tell Brooke I showed y'all this picture, man. Don't tell Brooke I showed y'all that picture. So when people talk, make sure you know what you're talking about. And I got to find that picture of me and Tremaine when we were young. Not this new shit. When Tremaine had a gut. I got to give it to him. Dude worked out. He did his thing. However, just because y'all folks clout chase off of Robert Sylvester Kelly, that don't mean all of us do that. Some people just know him personally. Some people just have relationships with these folks. And some of y'all just hate for no goddamn reason. On that note, I don't know what else to say to y'all. Except for one thing.
This is not the type of tea I want.
It's over for you.
This is not the tea I want.
It's over for you.
I don't like to waste time on stupid conversation. There's no profit in that. So if I'm around people that are always complaining with no solutions, then I'm wasting real estate in my brain for what I need to project. And what I project in my brain is what I project in my reality. So that real estate only has to be for evolution, things that are going to help me get where I got to go. You understand? Help me evolve. So if my conversation with you makes me stagnate, we don't have too much conversation either. I don't have no time for no stupid ass conversation.
Say you love it, what you gon' do now? Hope you're ready, cause I'm really about to put it down. Girl, you know that I will never disrespect you. We love tomorrow, but tonight I wanna spank you. That ass, girl, gotta make it last, girl. Start off slow, then I'ma beat it up.
Good night, everybody. And everybody have a great night. I see y'all tomorrow. Y'all be blessed. One.